Hey everyone, this is Unlock24, and before we go any further, I want to remind you to keep your phone vertical and click that full screen icon on the bottom right. Now today we're going to be talking about the new mini box that was just released, and that's Echoes of Silence. Overall, I think, well, let's go ahead into the cards and then I'll tell you what my opinions are. So first of all, we're getting two ultra rares, one of them being Silent Magician level 8. Cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summoned by Silent Magician level 4, cannot be special summoned by other ways, unaffected by your opponent's spell card. So the effect overall is really good, however summoning it's kind of hard. You do have to have Silent Magician level 4 out and maybe a level up to get to it, so that's already 2 cards being used. Or you have to get the level 4 to get 5 counters, I think. The next one, it's Spear Dragon, and it's a level 4 19 attack dragon that does piercing. So one of the huge drawbacks that the card has is that it switches itself to defense mode after it attacks, so you can only attack once, and most likely it'll get destroyed the next turn. Or maybe if you can defend it with a Super Rush or an enemy controller or something like that, I might be able to survive. Then for the Super Rares, Ultimate Insect level 7 basically makes your opponent's monster weaker by 700 attack and defense. It's decent. Vortex Trooper, when this card is normal summon, you can shuffle 2 cards from your hand to the deck, then draw 2 cards. So when this card is destroyed, draw 1 card. So there's a way to kind of go through your deck a little bit faster. I think it's one of the better cards in the box. Overall, it's a level 3 Wind Aqua type, so I'm not sure why it's Wind and then Aqua. Maybe because it's some sort of cooling fan, I think. But that's kind of a weird combination that it's an Aqua and Wind. But overall, the effect, like I said, it's one of the better effects, or one of the better cards in the mini box overall. The next one, I think this is by far the best card in the mini box. If there's any cards that that you might want to get out of the mini box, is Green Kappa. Green Kappa is insane right now. The fact that whenever it gets flipped, you can target 2 set spell trap cards on the field and then destroy those targets. So we really don't have an effect like that. We don't have like a heavy storm or anything. I think the only thing we have is Shinseng, who I think it's called. But this thing, it's a really welcome addition to any to any deck, because it can destroy a ton of back rows. And I think you're going to be seeing this card a lot in those high level play or high level ranks. So if there's a card that you want to get out of this mini box, is this card. In the real game, it didn't really do much. It did see some play in some of the extra decks, but other than that, not really anything noticeable. But overall, and in Duel Links, I think it is a must-have, and I think I will try to get a couple copies of it, because, like I said, it's a really good effect. The next one's Spell Power Grasp. This one's decent, I guess, for spell counter decks. Target one face-up card on the field that you can place a spell counter on. Place 1 spell counter on that target. Then you can add 1 Spell Power Grasp from your deck to your hand. You can only activate a Spell Power Grasp per turn. 1 Spell Power Grasp per turn. So basically, you're going to be seeing this card in a lot of the Cerberus farm decks. And some people might try to build a spell counter deck, because the spell counter deck isn't as good. You do have to waste a lot of resources before they start doing anything. And we did get another spellcaster with a little Yugi with his level up, one of his level up prices. But overall, it's decent. Emergency Provisions, actually, it's going to be another decent card of the mini box. I do remember that this thing got restricted, I think. Got restricted to 1 or banned, I can't remember, because the effect was insane and you were able to get a ton of life points. What it does is it sends any number of other spell trap cards you control to the graveyard, gain 1,000 life points for each card and send to the graveyard this way. So basically, in Duel Links you can only get basically 2,000, but you might want to get some cards destroyed for whatever reason. So I don't think it's gonna see that much play in the competitive scene. Maybe a fun deck or two, but overall, it's a decent card. Rising Air Current. I'm not really sure. Well, maybe you can just build a deck around it, but I think if you're playing Harpies, you're better off with a Harpies Hunting Ground, or if for some reason that gets destroyed, maybe run a second copy or just one copy of Rising Air Current. Same thing with Yumiuka. Increase the attack of all water monsters by 500 points and increase their defense by 400. Maybe just run one, or maybe not, because you can run Yumi instead. Limit Reverse, it's a decent card, and I don't see it being that useful. Maybe there's really not that many searchers out right now, and I think the main use of this card was to get a searcher back and then get it destroyed by switching it to defense and activate the searcher's effect. Don't really have anything yet, but I think this card will get better as more cards get released. Ultimate Insect level 5, the one's required for the level 8, so it's a level 5, 23 attack, which is defense, and 900 defense, so it's a decent card. Alchemist of Black Spells, another card for that spell counter deck. Once per turn, you can change this face-up attack position card you control to face-up defense position. Place one spell counter on a face-up card you control that you can place a spell counter on. And it's an 18 defense, so it's a decent defense. I don't know if it'll see that much play. Gemini Lancer, not that great. You have to double summon it to do piercing. Here's a Silent Magician level 4 that you need for that bigger magician, which I think some people are going to try out that deck, but I think we have way too many trap cards that can deal with it. We have Mirror Walls, Michisudas, and other things that can take care of the bigger Silent Magician. The Bistro Butcher is actually one of the cards required for an Exodia OTK, and I think once we get Creature Swap, you might be trying it out, or might want to try it out. And the way it works is you Creature Swap the Bistro Butcher with a Searcher. Not that we have any searchers yet, but eventually we will, like Mystic Tomatoes, Giant Rats, and things like that. And then you just keep ramming until you draw Exodia. Deep Diver, at the end of the battle phase, if this card was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, choose one monster from your deck and place it on top of the deck. So this, I think, is going to let you search for Neo Daedalus. Nothing really else unless you really want to draw a particular monster. Slushy, I don't think you should even care about Slushy. I don't think it's going to do anything. When this card is normal summon, you can send one Slushy from your deck to the graveyard. If you have 3 copies of Slushy total, either banished and or in your graveyard combined, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target one level 5 or higher Sea Serpent type monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. You can only use the special summoning effect of Slushy once. So I'm not really sure. Maybe some people might try it. I don't really know what you can do with it. Sinister Serpent got completely nerfed. There might be some people that can find some use in it, maybe for balloons, or maybe to send it to the graveyard with Tribute to the Doom and get an extra card. But it will get removed to the next turn, or you won't be able to use it. That way it doesn't stay in the graveyard. But maybe some Tribute to the Doom water decks. I'm not entirely sure, because it did get a huge nerf. This is another one of the better cards in the mini box, Gaga Gigo. It's an 1850 water monster, so it's a welcome addition to the Mako decks. And with Yumiuka or just the regular Yumi, this guy becomes a monster. Then everything else, it's basically it's all right. And this is actually a decent card, I'm thinking this card is gonna be, or someone's gonna find a way to abuse this card. Because I think it's one of the it's a good card that's in that mini box. During the battle phase, if you control a Silent Magician monster and have more cards in your hand than your opponent, each player draws until they have 6 cards in their hand. This card's activation effect cannot be negated. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Silent Magician monster from your deck to your hand. So I'm pretty sure someone's gonna be able to completely abuse this card, and I can't wait to see how they abuse it. Or I might even try to, if we get lucky with our pack openings. Pop up. If your opponent controls a card in their field, this is actually one of the cards that I think it's gonna kind of change the meta or the way we play, because this card makes the Toon deck completely insane. Yeah, I think you would run 3, and what it does is if your opponent controls a card in their field zone and you do not activate one field spell card from your deck, you can only activate one pop-up per turn. So you're basically able to get Toon Kingdom out in the very first turn if your opponent is playing one of their skills like Mountains or Yumi with Yugi or whatever. If you're playing against Harpy's Hunting Ground, you will be able to get it extremely quick. So you do need to look out for this card. Level up again, so it just makes your monsters level up, or your level monsters level up. Send one face-up level monster you control to the graveyard special monster from your hand or deck that's listed on the set monster's attacks, ignoring the summoning conditions. Unified front, and basically everything else is just random fodder. I remember this thing was an ultimate, I think, when it came out. It was insane. Dark Blade, level down, level modulation, graveyard 4th dimension, add 2 level monsters from your graveyard to your deck and shuffle them. Yeah, so basically that's it. Let's try to open some packs and hopefully pull a green Kappa, because it's basically the only card I want out of the mini box. And let's see if we can get lucky and open at least one. Don't really care for maybe anything else. It'd be decent to get a Spear Dragon, I guess. So let's see if we get something opened. Let's open the 10 packs for the 500 free gems. Alright, here we go. I think I'm just gonna open this 10 packs. I don't think I want to waste anything on this. I might open some of the electrical overload or whatever that thing's called. Alright, so I got Gigo. That's nice. There's another one. Fire Serpent, Dark Blade, and there's a pop-up, and it I did get a shiny, so that's good. Another Serpent, and a Deep Diver. A Mayuko, a Submarine Frog, and a Silent Magician level 4. It's a shiny one too. Hydra, Cashback, Unified Front. Alright, hopefully our first super rare. If not, it's gonna be just a standard rare. Standard rare, another pop-up. Oh, there's a Bistro Butcher. Race for 2, clear, and a Gemini Lancer. So nothing great out of those 10 packs. Not that I was really, not that there's really anything that great out of it, but we didn't get a green Kappa. But I think, well, let's go ahead and open the last 2 packs. Might as well. Power Grabs. That's weird that it didn't show any other animation other than the Mai or the character animation, and it's a super rare. I'm guessing they changed the animation on it. Alright, well, I think that's gonna be it for today. I don't really want to open any more of those packs. I might try something maybe tomorrow or the day after for the packs. No, I actually have the deck that I had planned for today. I guess I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But anyways, I think that's gonna be it for today. If you have any questions or comments, or if you want to give me your opinion on the mini box or whether you're gonna be buying some packs or not, leave that down below, and maybe we can talk about it. But anyways, if you like the video, leave a like. If you dislike it, leave a dislike. And if you enjoy the content that I'm putting out there, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully.